does it guarantee your job? So we're going to talk about that side because everybody was surprised because nobody knew that he was going to say he just broke. The meeting just happened after 30 minutes. The news broke that he's going to leave sports. They're not going to leave, they are going to sack him, and they sacked him 1 hour later. Good morning, guys. Welcome to Vote Sports on Vote 104.3 FM. My name is Godwin. I'm here with the team to talk about all this on the show. Good morning, also. How are you?
I'm good. Good morning. Interesting weekend. Let's hope we get a better one before Monday.
Good morning, John.
Good morning to you. Good morning, sports fans and super listeners out there. Welcome to the show.
Okay, remember, guys, we are live on YouTube at Vote FM Sports. You can go there, drop your comments. We'll be reading your comments live here in the studio. Okay, let's start with the game yesterday, Nigerian Super Eagles game. That game ended 1-1. Good showing for both teams. But the question is, are we seeing improvements? But since Chile took over, are you seeing improvement? I'll start with you, John. Can you improve? If you look at that game, January, both of us, we saw the game and we are complaining our midfield are lacking.
Yes.
We don't have any creative midfield in Nigerian Super Eagles. The only player I can think of is Iwobi. Iwobi did not play this game. He was just the same kind of players that we have basically on our midfield. But what do you think about that game yesterday?
Yeah, I would say it was a boring game if you ask me. No doubt, it was a boring game. I felt like we could have gotten more. You get the opportunity to play Russia. You get the opportunity to play people who have not been as active as we have, and we could not win. We could not win outright. We could not score more goals. We could not do a whole lot in that encounter. They still have better pass accuracy than us. They still have better possession in the game. They still have more chances created than us. The only thing we had was that we were clinical in our chances, though none of them converted into a goal. And then when you look at the way we played that game, I felt that there was a lot we could have done. So for me, I'm just coming out of that match feeling a little bit dissatisfied because the game against Jamaica should have been a blowout. It should have been a straight-up win. Yet we went to penalties. The game against Russia should have been a straight-up win. Yet we were gifted a draw. We were gifted a draw from the goalkeeper error that Arokodare pounced upon to get us the equalizer. We were gifted that even though we had put ourselves in that position by conceding an own goal in that game. So me, I felt like these two games, the jury is out. There is no judging anybody on these two games because he wanted the liberty to tweak the formation, test a couple of things. But I feel like I've not seen enough from Chile to say that yes, he's going to take us to the tournament and win it.
Okay, leave winning first. Let's talk about qualifying.
If we qualify, we'll go win now.
Come on.
If we qualify, I'm a believer anytime, any day. Whether we lose, if we qualify, we go win now. You get. But am I seeing progress? I won't say the progress is infinite. In a small. You don't expect to see progress after 5 matches, but expect to see at least work ethic, change in style. And
we don't see work ethic.
And in this Super Eagles team, we've seen them run around the mall. You get. Unlike the time where you see them play boom and leave it for the strikers and the front three. You get, and only one of the midfielders to join the attack. You get when you play boom, Osimhen is catching the ball with his chest. Ademola Lookman, Moses Simon, or maybe Chukwueze is playing alongside with him there. And that's the 4 of them in the position's final third. Or the 4 of them in the position's half. The rest of the players are deep in our Super Eagles half. This game, you see them, whenever they progress together. It's like massive attack, massive defense. We are going together, we are all of us. Plus the fullbacks, all of us are going there. We are coming back, everybody is coming back, even the strikers. Okay, maybe you say you leave one person up front. But last night you saw the game again that you say, okay, fine. What is your input to the Super Eagles? We have question marks here and there for players. We saw that we keep going back to we don't have creative minds. We see the Lego Ashiru create for Lazio. We see him create week in, week out. When on the bench, you say, okay, fine, he's on the bench, who is creating? And we saw that people create, but when he's there, you see him being very, very exceptional in midfield for Lazio side, for the Serie side. Now you're coming into the Super Eagles team and you're playing like you're lazy. You're not. I'm not saying these players, I'm not seeing improvement. I'm seeing improvement on the side. But
no, so there are 2 places I want to interject in on you. For one, you talk about the fact that they are no longer ballooning the ball up forward to the attack. They are now playing through the midfield. They are passing more. They are moving that. Bro, is a football team not supposed to play this way? Like, why are we celebrating the basest of
No,
metrics? We shouldn't be
a football
like
team.
if you say you're a football team and I'm clapping for you because just like a toddler, let's say an adult now learning to write A and B for the first time, and you're telling me that I should clap for. At a certain age, there are certain expectations that we should have of
They
you.
know they do am
Our
before.
expectation should not be that we are passing well.
No.
Okay, let's go and sleep. No.
John,
When you
are misunderstanding the
when
concept.
you turn
They
a
know
car
they do
on,
am
the
before.
car should on without you having to jimmy the key. That's the idea.
Then the system
And getting us to that
John.
system that is as efficient as that should not be celebrated. That's bare expectations.
Okay.
Yes.
And the coaches that have been there before, what have they done? You see them balloon the ball and leave it for Osimhen, Moses Simon, Chukwueze, Ademola Lookman, and this guy, Alex Iwobi. And that's all of them in front there.
I'm
and
saying that
Again,
playing
now,
better football
for this coach to come
under
and say
Chelle should not be a yardstick to say he's succeeding or not.
It is
It should
gradual.
not even be what we are celebrating in the first place.
It is gradual. You cannot come and say, okay, fine, because Chile coming today, you want him to start blowing everybody out of the water 7-0, 5-0. It's not going to work like that. You will start from somewhere. And that's somewhere you're starting from now. Is having the team to play beautiful football, at least, and create enough chances for people to score goals.
I think part of
you get the team to work more.
I think I'll excuse this friend because some of his big stars like Lookman or Osimhen did not play. Even though that when they played before, I couldn't see the difference. But,
Thank you.
But you have to hope. The thing about football, like African football, you have to believe. That we have to. I know we like miracle in this part of the country.
That's the thing. So all I want us to see is a little bit more process rather than miracle. Secondly, now there's another hot issue on this topic, which is the fact that a couple of players form in their respective league, their work ethic in their respective league, the way they are hungry for success in their respective league does not transfer to the national team. I'll call the biggest one out there, Victor Boniface, because for the life of me, I can't tell why after that game, after putting in a terrible performance out there, I'm reading something on social media. He wants to retire from international team. I better go see that. Nobody need them for that front. Like, I don't understand why you are playing for your country, if at all Nigeria is your country, if you have any pride in your chest to have the baton passed down to you, the baton that the likes of Kanu and Kwao, Daniel Amokachi, all these big men that we know have passed down. You get to wear that shirt this time around, and you are not running. Yes, your season is over. You want to go and relax. You want to do TikTok. I know it's your village people that is doing you that one now. Play football for the national team. Perform. You have the fact that you are playing in Leverkusen is the only yardstick that is being used to call you to the national team and give you a free pass to the national team, and he hasn't delivered. You spoke about Dele Bashiru in the same boat again in this encounter.
No, you excuse him.
The same boat.
Only in this game you say okay, fine.
The same boat.
Bashiru, I will excuse Bashiru anytime, any day because
and then thirdly, to round up my point on this topic now, thirdly, the guys who were called in, the bit part players, fringe players in that national team who have not been able to nail down a position in the team that were called in this period to come and perform. How many of them gave a 6.5? Let's not go 7.5. How many of them gave a 6.5 performance in this run of games?
Igor Ogbu.
How many of them gave a 6? And 6.5 performance is barest minimum, is average. It's not even exceptional. So I think our standards in the national team need to be lifted up.
There's something. I won't say there's something wrong with Boniface, but whenever he plays for Nigeria, you could see that I think he needs a goal to get him going. He have not scored that goal. He needs to.
Now the same to talk about this other guy where they play for Spain.
Who that?
Sadiq. We need a goal to get him going.
He needs a goal for like 5 years.
Nothing.
But
you don't need anything. Just retire.
But then Godwin, the risk we are running. Keep calling these guys every time, fielding them, giving them game time, is other guys that are hungry on the bench, and it's not fair to them.
I think the only
if they are not going to take good advantage of this opportunity to play for the Super Eagles, they should pack well on the bench and let somebody else come in.
I think the only difference is the lack of hunger.
Thank you.
Because now for players who are playing the local leagues, the MPFL, they want to market themselves. And you remember the interview Yaya granted at some point. He said if you've not had up to 5 or 7 domestic call-up and played matches, You get it will be hard for you to travel to some countries to play top team football. You get before they will grant your visa and all of those things. So most of these clubs now will have to like, okay, fine, these players need to be hungry to play for the Super Eagles. But the thing is, I feel like once they get that call up by other teams, European teams, and they sign for European clubs, they'll be like, I don't need Super Eagles anymore. And that's the problem. They need to start working on it. If we want to be exporting players like the likes of Brazil that will play most of the national, I think there was a time Brazil will play most of the national team players from the Brazil league. England does the same. If it's okay, Nigeria come back home, but we're still talking about Nigeria come back home. We need to start fixing the structure in the MPFL. You get the training grounds, the structure of how the MPFL performs, the exposure of the players in the MPFL. At least when they travel, even if not friendly matches, just travel to South Africa and go and play friendly matches. But now who go sponsor them? Now that be the problem.
Thank you.
You get
another point you're talking
make
about.
MPFL players
Training
travel
ground
around.
and all this one, who go bankroll that one? Because it's the clubs and the ownership of the clubs are the ones that are going to bankroll all of that.
I feel like it's high time we start calling up camps and sending these players to just travel for what's it called camp and come back and
the best
implement them in Super Eagles.
In Nigeria MPFL is private owners start taking up clubs.
Thank you.
They want to say they take over how far?
Because truthfully, if all of them, for example, in England, apart from the big stadiums like international stadiums, most of the stadiums they are private owned.
Yes.
The club owns it. For example, in Enugu Rangers, the government controls their facilities. If a private investor, if you put in money, football is about money.
Yes.
If you pay players, well, they'll come back home and play. What will I leave Cyprus are going to be collecting maybe $1,000 a week and come to Nigeria and collect 250,000 a month? It doesn't make sense. So we need to if we structure the league very well, invest in it, then our players can decide not even travel abroad to play in Nigerian PFL. Look at South Africa. Most of their players
I'm not saying
if they don't move to South Africa, if they don't move to abroad, they don't bother because they are paid
well
in
in
South
South
Africa.
and
they are I'm just telling you now, if they don't get that move, they will not go to Uganda to play football. They stay in their country because they had a
Uganda is still Africa now. Cyprus now Europe.
No, I'm not giving an example. They don't need to move to small countries to play all those football because their league is good. I'm talking about players that are good.
No, I'm just saying, look at what I'm saying now. I'm not saying go to Cyprus, go to Belgium 3rd division, or go to Spain 17th division and Germany.
They rather go than to play in Nigeria.
Because that's what most of them do. They'll go to Israel 3rd division to play.
They rather it's better than Nigeria MPFL.
I'm just saying, if there's a system that could bring them together to play, then when they get to the call of Super Eagles and they move on, they are going to play for European teams. There's another set of or crop of players that are under them that could still come in.
All this thing you are talking about is the government has to bring out money. Government
need to bring out money.
So then leave that one. So
we will need NFF will need sort of partnership.
That's what I'm saying, that the only thing to do that is if a private owner takes up clubs. Because it's not your personal business. You run your personal business personally. They want profit.
Do you know how many football academies is in Nigeria right now? Do you know how many? I could count at least 7 in Lagos.
It's not about numbers. How many of them are functional? How many of them are?
I said functional. Functional. I know you can't. It's not functional like 30.
What they don't do like let's just have an academy. People don't actually do this thing as a proper. For example, if even
I have 3 football clubs privately run in the MPFL. Every year they relegate.
That's what problem I'm having with this argument is that there's no trajectory for you to progress.
Thank you.
What they are doing last year, they are doing 10 years ago because it's a general growth. Even if I come in now to invest money and I come and somebody is bribing a referee somewhere else, how will I succeed?
You will succeed, man. You will tell your players to play more.
But let's see what
happens. More, perform more.
That game ended 1-1 with Nigeria. Russia and Nigeria played a 1-1 draw. Even though that Russia have not played a competitive football since 2020, when they started the war with their neighboring country. They have not played. FIFA banned them in every competition, including athletic and football. So they just play league football within themselves, and small. If I allow them to play international friendlies, but they will not play any competitive entry until that situation is solved in their country. But let's see what happens with Russia. But for Nigeria and Chile, the next time we'll play again, we'll play a World Cup qualifier. Let's hope that will make an improvement and qualify for the World Cup. Okay, other friendly games that happen in Africa. I'm interested in one of them that gives the result of other friendly games that happen in Africa. Equatorial Guinea and Gambia. Gambia beat Equatorial Guinea 2-1. Good game. Zambia lost at home to Burkina Faso. another African game. South Africa and Tanzania played a 0-0 draw. Ireland beat Senegal played a 1-1 draw in that friendly game. Niger beat Gabon 4-3, and Cameroon beat Uganda 3-0. Finally, Morocco beat Tunisia 2-0. I want to talk about this Morocco and Tunisia game because Hakimi started. This is people that have passion for their country. That's why I want to talk about. Why I want to talk about this game because I wasn't expecting to start. When I opened the lineup, I saw him starting, and he played 19 minutes. He just finished playing Champions League football, and we are here saying that our players,
some people are saying holiday doing TikTok when you should be prepping for.
Look at the player
crazy,
that
man.
loves his country.
Mr. Ballon d'Or be that.
It does not matter. It's a friendly game.
Now Mr. Ballon d'Or be that. No, look and less. Now they win this year.
Now if it's World Cup qualification, I understand that it's a friendly game. He can decide not
to
play. He came back from
last night.
Flew into his country and
played the Champions League on the 31st. This is 6 days rest or 5 days rest.
That's arrested.
What about all yesterday? I mean, day before yesterday, that were arrested and we didn't feature.
No, I'm talking about Nigerian Super Eagles.
That now, I understand what you're saying.
And the Super Eagles that are also rested.
5 days rest is enough to play because if you look at the league, you're playing every week. You're playing Wednesday and Sunday. So you're playing every 3 days. Now for Hakimi, he's had enough rest. You get? It's what you call the hunger. At least you're playing for your club. They are paying you this amount of money. But when you bring it back home, you're hungry to develop or perhaps put in more effort in your country. At least when you know look at what's it called now? Wales. You say, oh, who is the highest goal scorer for Wales? You're looking at Gareth Bale and the rest of them. You're saying who is the most cap player? So it's one of those things. You're hungry because you know that when you retire, there's this legendary status for you, both in your country and in your club. Perhaps you won the Champions League with PSG, so there'll be a legendary status for you there. But in your country, there'll be this legendary status for you in your country. That you did well, even while you're still tired or you're on holiday, you still came in to deliver for the country. And
I think our problem is a mentality problem and a poverty problem because yes, it's a poverty problem because if it isn't a poverty problem, let's say every Nigerian could afford to feed themselves from growing up, everybody had a good quality life, you would value playing for the national team more than playing for your club. You will turn up for the national team. You will fight for the badge. But when you're loyal, when you know what they call a sellsword, if you go back to the medieval terms, they call it sellsword. When you're a sellsword, you're a gun for hire. Now, who they pay your bill per time? Now, you get your loyalty. Nobody get that loyalty. Okay. And that's what we have. We have sellswords in our national team. Nobody's playing for that, but they are all playing for self. And so they can tell you the excuse that season has ended. Why is Ronaldo still playing football when season has ended? Why are all these guys that won the Champions League, who should be relaxing, still playing? We need to raise the standard of our game and we need to change our mentality.
Okay, Hakimi played and scored in that game. They beat their opponent 2-0. Good result for them. Okay, even though it's a friendly game. Okay, let's move over to Europe and talk about the World Cup qualification that happened yesterday. An interesting one. Norway beat Italy 3-0. It was an interesting game.
And the Norwegian Giants scored.
Yeah, and both strikers scored in that game. Wales won their game. Belgium and Macedonia played a 1-1 draw. Gibraltar lost 7-0 to Croatia. It's expected, but 7-0 was too much. Czech beat Montenegro 2-0. Estonia won Israel 3. But let's talk about the Norway game before we talk about today's fixtures because England are playing today. They beat Italy 3-0. We are saying that Italy have not played any World Cup qualification. They played their first one and lost 3
and they collect. They play the first and they collect.
So if I remember correctly, you were gingering that yes, they've not played, but that they will start by winning this one.
They
will not go and do blah 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 blah.
Bro,
our markets.
Don't call me out.
Bastoni, Belotti, and Di Marco.
Di Marco was on the bench.
Afa.
Di Marco was on the bench.
Icho.
Calm down. Let me tell you.
Started.
You
started.
Icho. Abi no choke.
Calm down now, John. Calm down.
The John is far. Abi no far.
Calm down. The John is no far.
It's fine. It's far.
These people did 3 games. They still lose
more.
Far.
You know concern me.
They still lose more. But for me, I feel like I go retire from supporting these teams. No, because the Italian teams, they form a hand. I don't know how I want to put the falling of hand. From Inter Milan to Italy, they form a hand on a grand scale. From Juventus to Inter Milan. to Italy. They just form a hand on a grand scale, and I don't like it. I go retire from supporting these teams.
Now you
I
know
will
what?
just be neutral from henceforth. Because how can you allow 3 goals pass you in the first 30, in the first 40 minutes of the game?
Secondly,
You
what
get-
formation
now-
was that
now-
yesterday?
Now you want to
Like,
play a 5. Who plays?
that one no be
No, see who plays a 5-4-1.
no be 5-4-1 be that too.
Not 5-4-1 they
Na
play.
3-6-1. No,
5-4-1.
call it what it is. 3-6-1.
No, you know why you say 3-6-1 because you're seeing the back three. You get, but the full backs, perhaps let's say the wing
I
backs,
know na.
the wing backs is playing now. Actual full back.
Baba, when game start, all of them they back.
No. The wing back where you play, or perhaps the wing back we play, they are actually full backs. They are not wing backs. That would tell you because if you look at Udogie, how many progressive play Udogie get passes for Tottenham? You not get progressive play. You don't have to play long pass to Son or anybody inside. They leave him for there. You know they even come front to come cross ball. So now you play. So a defender a fullback that doesn't have progressive play is where you play. So you're automatically playing a 5 defenders. If you're saying okay, you're playing Udogo of Man United, he has progressive play. You're playing Dimarco, he has progressive play. You're playing Hakimi, he has progressive play. Though he's a fullback, but he has more progressive play. You can play him
You just call Hakimi now.
No, I'm making instances of fullbacks that pass progressive play, and you can put them in a wing back position and they will still deliver for you. These players where you put for fullback or wing back positions, they don't have progressive play, and you're playing them as wing back. How? So they are playing to defend more than even attack. So automatically you're starting with 5 defenders, 4 midfielders, and 1 striker. I don't talk that guy before. That guy might be the player where they start for Atlanta. I said that guy they score goals. Yeah, I think he has more goals apart from those who won the Golden Boot in the Serie A. He is I think third on the table with the highest goal in the Serie A. That guy chopped the right of Ademola Lookman to score more goals because every pass Ademola Lookman makes is to him. Every pass Charles makes is to him. Now he's converting there. In the Serie A, Italian side, he doesn't have that support. You get, so for me yesterday Matthew was MIA, missing in action. The other guys are missing in action. I don't see the life of me where you are playing against this team. No, we said they play the Champions League and Dimarco is on the bench.
Okay, that game was interesting. Haaland, Odegaard, and Solot all played. That's the 3 players I'm always looking out for because the 3 players that play in 3 big teams in Europe. Odegaard is the captain of Arsenal. Haaland is the star player for Manchester City, and Solot plays for Atletico Madrid. All 3 played, and all 3 was involved in the goals they scored yesterday. Let's hope Norway qualify for the World Cup.
The man of the match for me was Nusa. That guy, I don't know where
that
that guy come from.
Yes.
That guy
scored the second goal, right?
He had the goal and an assist. I don't know where that guy come from. But I just feel like that lineup Solot has energy to burn, or has space to burn. That's why he was playing. If you look at the formation, you're seeing the front 3. But bro, I'm seeing the front 2. Haaland and Solot run, and one person will camp, one person will run around, and they were getting the goals beautifully.
Okay, my hope I just want Haaland to play the World Cup, a major tournament, because since he broke into that Norway team, they have not qualified for any major tournament. He has tried with the World Cup, they didn't qualify. Tried with 2 Euros and did not qualify for the past 2 Euros. So it's sad because they have these 3 big stars. I can remember Bill single-handedly took Wales to those semi-finals and took them to the World Cup. So one player, and people have 3. People have 3.
No, that time they get players who they run. No,
yes,
they know Sabi play, but just put them on the track and they will run 90 minutes.
And let's not forget that when Bale was doing that, he was playing left back for Tottenham.
Let's see what happens.
It's crazy.
Let's see what happens with Norway. They beat Italy 3-0. Okay, one comment on our YouTube channel before we talk about today's fixtures, because England are playing today, even though they are playing a small team, but we are going to talk about that because I'm driving to the main topic I want to talk about very well today. And the to be on our YouTube channel is saying, no, so you are calling Dimarco after what Dembele and
Yama.
No, what that boy's name that plays from the left, like almost
Mendes.
No, that for
the only people who deal with Dimarco.
Bruno Mendes now. Left back.
He's calling Desire, but me, I will not call his name. Desire do it. The only people that dealt with Dimarco this season, where the man humble himself, na Yama and Dembele.
Okay, what Dembele and Desire did to him at the finals, his mental state is not restored. Yes, he played a 3-5-1-1. Okay, I say finally he's saying Abeg Boniface can resign without making noise.
Thank you.
Striker that cannot score that I cannot score is threatening me with retirement. Waiting.
Baba may retire.
Wetin
Nobody
I no
send
go
them. Which kind of talk be that one?
Where
Ah,
striker
may go
choke?
retire.
Where striker
Where
choke for
striker choke? Even if no fit score, put
Dresser, they do press up.
Sadiq Umar say man no
Why
like when
they-
no
why
Sadiq
they
score.
count
No,
Sadiq?
even if you know
May
Sadiq,
where they score goal dey now.
even if you want, you dey threaten us say you no go play again. People don't sabi score goal. We still dey fight for shit. They
Okay.
Sadiq Umar they hungry for shit. Though they perfect, you know they give us goals, but they run around for field.
Okay, for today's fixtures in the UEFA World Cup qualification, England and Andorra will host England in by 5 p.m. today. Austria will play Romania, Bosnia will play San Marino, and Albania will play Serbia, and Finland will play Netherlands. Okay, let's talk about England. This is our guy Tuchel is there, so everybody is expecting him to play very good football and win something for England. He's the first German coach that has ever coached English national team. But if you look at that game, let's just quickly, England should be winning this game. We don't need to dwell too much in this game.
Like England should be winning this game, but then he came out to say that nobody should expect any flamboyant something from him in this encounter.
My guy, he don't play. He don't play last card.
He don't
He
give everybody.
went to give you pick two for the end. No expectations.
Simple.
Don't keep the expectations high. Don't expect a run over. Just we win. We don't win. On to the next one.
Don't expect a blowout.
Don't expect a blowout. All those things. On to the next one. We win. We don't win. On to the next one. Let's get it moving.
I think we are expecting England to win.
And the way he's selecting his players as well, I just feel like he's not selecting based on your play for the big six. If you're good and you're playing anywhere, the same thing this man did.
Yeah.
What Emily Castle did. The same thing is what he's doing. If you're playing anywhere, even if you're playing in Leeds United and you're good, you're coming to the Super Eagles team. You're coming to the Three Lions.
Okay, England is going to play Andorra today by 5 p.m. Let's see what Tuchel is going to do again. And in his last 2 games, he has won his past 2 games. This is going to be his 3rd game in charge of the Three Lions of England. So let's see if he's going to qualify. Obviously, they should qualify for the World Cup. If they don't qualify, heaven go follow. So I think they are still first. They have played 2 games and they have won 2 in their group. They have 6 points. And if you look at their rivals are Albania, Latvia, Serbia, and Andorra.
No, let Serbia get right to qualify for that group.
They should be qualifying for this group. There is no question about it. But let's see what happens today with England by 5 p.m. Okay, let's move away from international football and talk. Okay, before we talk about international football, games happened in South America yesterday. World Cup qualifier in South America, Colombia and Peru played 0-0 draw, and Venezuela beat Bolivia 2-0. Okay, that's all for country football, national football. Let's move on to a little bit of club football because something interesting happened yesterday. Spurs decided yesterday to sack their coach Angie after winning them the Europa League title. The statement is that they are not happy with the league. What he did in the league, he lost about 22 games in the Premier League. That means winning the Europa League didn't excuse them for the terrible season they had, and they decided yesterday. They just had a meeting, quick meeting. It's not that Manchester United they are having 5 days meeting. They sat and decided that this is not enough for Spurs, and decided to sack him immediately. So he was sacked immediately. I know Angie was even surprised because nobody expected that.
Of course, nobody expected
it.
But now season 3 has been cancelled.
Season 3 don't cancel. Promoters don't shut down their.
What do you mean?
Don't shut down their pocket.
The question I want to ask is people are, for example, many are saying that Spurs had a better team like of Arsenal and all because they won a trophy. It doesn't matter where you finished in the league. But I always disagree about it because it doesn't show progress. As you said about Manchester United, we were talking about it. Manchester United are going down, but they win you FA Cup and Carabao Cup. You think that they are making progress?
Is okay, yes,
but something is wrong.
Yes.
The same thing with Spurs. I think you can talk about their chairman or whatever you want to talk about.
Levy,
whatever I wanted. But for me, he made the right choice. You cannot finish 17th on the table and keep your job. It doesn't make sense.
I disagree with you,
bros, you can finish
on 2 counts.
You can finish 21st on the table of 20 and still keep your job.
But
when it comes to Tottenham,
you
can finish 21st in a team of 20 and still get your job because one, the man came in, didn't get support because he needed players.
Thank you.
You get other managers have said the same thing. After my first 6 months, I need players. At the end of the day, they terminate their contract. Look at the managers that have come in. Even the
Conte.
Even the I'm not even going to call the ones recent. Even the Pochettino that stayed there for more than 3 years.
Thank you.
Pochettino was begging for players and they got him below average players. and he managed to use those players to bring them to average. Not that he brought them to average and went to the Champions League finals. And he himself, I don't know how his mental state was when he went to the Champions. And before the Champions League final, he said, whatever happens here, I have given all I could give. Imagine they talk this kind of thing before Champions League final in 2019. That was his statement. Whatever happens here, I have given all I could give.
Thank you.
And after that season, Baba left Tottenham Hotspur.
Simple. And guess what? You want something elsewhere.
Mourinho came in, said the same thing about the club, said the same thing about player mentality, said the same thing about club mentality, owners mentality, fan mentality. Even Angie last season said the same thing about fan mentality. That the only thing the fans want is to debate, and the same thing was what Aseluti said about Everton. Yes. That the only thing they want to do is to beat Arsenal. So even if they don't win any trophy, let them just beat Arsenal and let the two of them just remain trophyless. They will be happy.
Okay, John.
So
now this is a team that wants to sack a manager, and you're telling me the manager will not be happy. I'll be proud.
Okay, John. What do you think?
I disagree with you. I feel like if anybody had told any sports fans anywhere in the world that in 2 seasons,
they'll win it. Trophy.
In 2 seasons they will finish 5th, and then in the second season they win a trophy, a European trophy, not a local trophy, something that they've not held their hands on in 40-something years. Somebody came around and made it happen. He deserved to be on the job. Now let me come back to the 2 points I disagree with you on. First and foremost, he had a fantastic season last season, right? Everybody knows that his style works. The players have already adapted. It works, and the team is moving fine. He was not backed as much as he should have been backed. They gave him, when you want to appease a child, but you don't want to solve the child's problem, you give them sweets. They gave him Solanke and say, we sold Keno, but see Solanke and whether other problem, there other places.
We don't care.
We don't care. Now look at this season.
January you should not give him Matistel.
You are not Matistel where they give him for January, and I say problem done already day.
No, now I talk now. Make me say you come to Matistel.
I'm coming. There's a process to this stuff. Now, a team like Spurs going into the season, you have just 2 center halves.
No, they have more.
I'm coming. With the type of injuries they've had this season, at a point in time, they had 11 players out. Where you want make the miracle come from? Where you want that miracle to come from? What this man, Eric, one name Hang, had the same issue at Manchester United. He was not asked because everybody could see that, bro, there's an injury crisis. He had the same injury crisis. At a certain point, they had 11 players out. Yes, these guys, they're coming back into the side. Yes, there were other issues within the team, like, for example, him not changing the attacking formation, the high line, which was making people concede a lot of goals, exploit their defense and score. Yes, he didn't do that. But beyond that, he had an injury crisis.
Yes.
Second point upon which I disagree with you now. Ange Postecoglou in this job is a better fix as a manager for Tottenham Hotspur than any other person you're bringing in. Without proper funding, he delivered that top 4 finish or top 5 finish, whatever you want to call it, and he delivered a trophy. This season, Ange is out of a job because he knows that then Daniel Levy knows that Ange will come to him and ask him for money because they are in the Champions League.
I don't believe that.
Simple and short.
If they bought a player for a striker for him for almost 60 million pounds, why wouldn't they buy?
Was that striker bought when Kane was around or when Kane had left?
Bro. The question I want to ask him.
No, was it before Kane left or after Kane had left?
Your question is
okay. Let me ask you a question. No matter how you want to see it. Do you think that sports team, no matter how bad you want to talk about it, that sports team, no matter the injury, deserves to lose 22 games in a Premier League season? Let's start with that one.
Definitely. I will not trust outside Vicaro, their next goalkeeper is a ton of basket.
So you are telling me that other teams ahead of them have better squad than Sports to finish ahead of them on the table. That's what you are telling me now.
Did you know how much West Ham spent for this man to drag them to relegation battle?
I'm just asking you a question.
Now, Godwin, I want to ask you. I'm answering your question. Do you know how much West Ham United spent for Lopetegui to take them to relegation battle? When Leicester City got promoted, did you know how much they spent? to improve their team.
I think the two different things there is that depend on how you see your club.
Now,
If Spurs sees their club as a big club, as a top 6 club, anything below top 10, they will sack you.
No,
For example, I'll give you an example. If Amorim have the same season where he finished 17 next season, irrespective of how you talk about, they will sack him next season.
If he is not being backed this summer, because now players are leaving. If he's not being backed this summer,
even if they
now God will wait now.
Even they don't
if
back
he is
him,
not backed this summer,
let me see that
wait.
Let's say
they will keep him in the job.
Okay, let me say they bought only Cunha and Bome for him.
Now,
and they finish 17th on the table, they will sack him.
Now
it doesn't matter.
See,
because that's what
is
better.
score.
It's better than finishing 17th, no matter how you want to see it.
Now, see, Spurs had more a better goal average than Man United. Goals scored than Man United, which means they were scoring more goals. Yes, they had about 60 something goals. Man United had about 40 something. You get now. You want to use that as this thing, and we say Man United does not have your attacking options. At some point, all the attackers of Man United went on injury. You get Spurs had attacking options. Now you saw the attacking options come into play. Spurs scored about 60 something goals in the season. How many did Arsenal score? Arsenal finished second on the table. How many they scored? They scored 60 something goals as well in the Premier League. Now look at Spurs scoring 61 goals in the Premier League. Arsenal scoring 69 goals. Just 8 goals different between the two of them. And one is finishing 17th on the table, while the other one is finishing second on the table.
They scored 64 goals and considered 65.
Now, look, I'm just telling you, they scored 64 or 61 because at the last time I checked was 61. Now, they scored 61 goals. How many did Arsenal score?
69.
Now, 69 goals. Which means you got, I said 8 before, now you're able to reduce it to 5 between Spurs and Arsenal. And Spurs is finishing 17th or 18th, 17th on the table. Arsenal is finishing second on the table. What's that difference? Defense. And at the time of the season, the best defenders in the league, according to reports we had last season, was the defensive pairing for Tottenham Hotspur. Outside Arsenal, you have Van Dijk. If you're calling the best defenders in the league last season, you're calling Van Dijk, you're calling Konate, you're calling these two players at Arsenal, Saliba and Gabriel. The next pick is maybe Diaz at Man City. Then the next person after Diaz at Man City is Romero.
You are saying that
of Tottenham Hotspur. Wait, now I'm giving you an option. Now, if you're calling the top 6 or top 10 defenders in the Premier League last season, you're calling 5 of these players from Man City, Liverpool. That's for Arsenal. The next person is Tottenham Hotspur. Pedro, what's it called? Romero of Tottenham Hotspur, and he went to Argentina to prove the same that he's good enough.
Yes.
Now you take him off the team. You're putting Dragosin.
Thank you.
Dragosin has been nowhere to position.
Okay.
Now outside that, you're talking about fullbacks in the league. You're talking about fullbacks in the league, and you have Pedro Porro and Udogie, who were fantastic last season and coming into this season. They all went out, and you're putting a Spurs to play off. Make sure.
So look, Godwin.
Now
Look
your midfield went on injury. Bisumas, Sarr, and Madison and all of that. Madison was part of the creative force in the midfield. Kulusevski and Bentancur, they all went on injury, and you have who to play for you. You have a Bergville, an academy graduate, and Wilson Odobot.
All these things you're arguing now.
I'm just saying the way the injury hits them.
Look at where I'm coming
The way
from.
injury
Look
hits
at where
them,
I'm coming
you
from.
will
now.
know.
Excuse me. Nobody is saying losing 22 games is
What
not
are you saying?
Nobody is saying losing 22 games is not a bad thing. Man, you lost 18.
What are you saying?
Yes?
Yes, 18.
Other teams have lost the same thing.
Even teams that finish ahead of them.
Excuse me, the difference between the team 17th and the team 10th is not much. It's not light years. It's a generally off season for teams that finish below the top 10. If you look at this table relative to last season's table, you are going to see that there's a general drop-off in performance across all Premier League teams. But now let's hone in on one simple fact. This Tottenham FC squad they are talking about, the total players there are valued at 560 million pounds, right? Relative to top 5 teams in that EPL.
Let's go top 10.
Let's talk relative to top 5. They are the least valued team. And then if you now go into the financial side of the club is in a better position than most of these teams that are in the top 5. So you have a team that is financially stable, that can invest in players, that can improve themselves to challenge for the title, but they are self-sabotaging themselves every season by signing average players that are not good enough. How do you take away a Romero, you take away a Porro, you take away an Udogie?
Van der Ven.
Van der Ven. Let's not forget that most of these top guys that we are calling now came in as literally unknowns into the club for very good deals. You understand me? Their resale value is high right now. This sports team value should be at 300 million. Because when these guys came in, they came in for little. How do you remove these key guys now who have over-indexed and you are putting subpar players? Somebody said it somewhere, and I'll say it here again, that star players on an off day give you an average performance. Average players on an off day give you a shambolic performance, and that's what happened to Spurs season. You cannot pass the buck to the manager when there's no reinforcement.
Well,
And of course, it's his fault too in a lie, because we all know that Levy will never give him what he wants.
And everything you can.
Levy no give Mourinho.
No give
He
Conte.
no give Conte.
He no
Na
give
he no give
Pochettino.
na Angie Ingo can give.
well, at the end of the day, they sat and they decided to sack him because of the league. The way they saw the league, that losing 22 games was too much. Even though, and I think what part of the thing they looked at is their opponent they faced throughout the Europa League. Apart from Manchester United, their run to that Premier League, they played almost. I might even played better teams than them.
Bro, he won the trophy.
Yeah, he won the trophies. But Spurs decided to sack him. Levy sat down with the board. Yesterday, they just got the emergency meeting, sat down and decided that the league, the Angie cannot be the man to take them forward again. Whether he was backed or not, that one is an internal problem for them to sort out. But now Angie is out. There are two players, there are two coaches they are going to look, they are looking to employ now at Spurs, Thomas Frank and Marco Silva. They are going to look at these two coaches if they're going to go to Spurs. But for Angie,
No.
Those are the worst options available in the market.
Thomas.
Angie would decided to
worst options available in the market.
Levy had decided to sack Angie after winning them the Europa League title and qualifying them for the Champions League. The question is it right to are they right to in their right frame of mind, or they are right to sack Angie after winning the European title, even though they finished 17th on the table after losing 22 games? I know it's too much, but truthfully, as the guy said, you want them a trophy after so many years, and they had a whole of injury crisis.
The trophy itself is
but
not enough.
I understand where Levy is coming from too. If as I said again, if Manchester United finish a game 17th on the table, there is no way Amorim will keep their job and lose 22 games. There is no way, no matter what you say, that they didn't back him. Or
yeah, but let's not act as if that Ange just came to the club and in his first season finished 17th without any problem.
But let's
not act like that.
He mentioned
let's
all the
not
problems in
discredit
his first season.
the first season he had.
Well, apart from the whole thing, they decided to sack him because he finished, he lost in 2 games in the season. So good luck to him in any other job. I think I like him personally. I think he's a good man. He's a good guy. Whenever he does his interview, he said that he wins something in second season. He delivered, and he said that the third season is always better. But they don't cancel that. So good luck to him in the future, and good luck to Spurs too if they can find another good coach to replace him. Okay, let's take phone calls. Let's take phone calls and probably hear your own contribution about all. Let's take phone call and get your contribution about all these things we are talking about. The number to call is 0706 048 5853. Yeah, hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, guys in the studio.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Name and location, please.
Richard calling from Cross River.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
God, to be fair with you.
Yes.
I detest your analysis.
Ah.
All the teams in England, the only thing I decided to use in comparison
to Manchester United. Hello, okay, we lost the call. I use Manchester United because Manchester United.
They are in the same boat. I don't understand. Why is this
because I consider both of them as a big club. I cannot use Everton, for example, as an example. It does not make sense. Or use West Ham. It doesn't make sense.
I'm a big club now.
Come on.
Back well,
I have to use Manchester United because Manchester United are a big club. They shouldn't be finishing 15th on the table. Spurs shouldn't be finishing 17th on the table. Yes. That's why I use both of them as an example. So no vex. So I know you love your club. Yeah, hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please.
My name is Aaron. I'm calling from Enugu.
Okay, what's your contribution?
Yeah, my contribution is something I've made a mistake. I've made a very big mistake by sacking the coach.
Yeah.
Because the man tried. Not everybody will come and do miracle. He's coming for Manchester United. We are talking about Manchester United and Tottenham are not the same.
They are a bigger club.
They are not in the same level. Mine is better than them.
They are bigger. Okay, imagine your team.
No, wait. Now, for instance, no, wait.
Okay, imagine now.
Let's understand.
Okay, yes, I understand. Imagine now that your team next year lose 22 games in next season. Will you keep your coach?
Coach is not the issue.
Okay, if you lose in two games.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
The issue.
Wow.
The issue in Man U or in Tottenham is the board.
Okay.
When the board organize their table and make it to the standard, the players and the coach will get what they want.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
According to Man U is not having issue about coaching. They are having issue about the management,
The structure.
the board, and the structure. That is the issue of the Man U. And once they retrieve that problem, Man U will come back the way they are.
Okay.
Man U is a nice and a guy.
The good coach. Yes.
The same thing with Postecoglou.
Even Tottenham himself.
There's a good coach
The
too.
mistake they done by the sacking him, somebody that brought you out from the stage you are. For many years.
Yes.
You just want to neglect him and push him out because he lose 22 games. You don't know whether you are going to relegation in this season.
Oh.
All right, thank you.
Let's not say West Ham going to relegate. I don't shift that to my London neighbors.
Okay.
I have stayed in the Premier League. Spurs. You want to sign Marco Silva.
See, my problem is the replacements they are looking at, right? You are in the Champions League next season. Let's not. Don't come and be bringing a manager that will take you back to relegation.
Hello, good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning. No allocation, please. Okay, Bishop.
Everybody,
What's your
Bishop.
contribution?
First of all, I hope you can hear me.
Yes,
Yeah,
Yes,
we can.
loud and clear.
First of all, which one are they and just let me say it in Igbo first of all. You know, this club is somebody's company. Somebody's effort, somebody's profit, somebody's everything. They start with. If I am the owner of the club, I will sack this man, Postecoglou.
Nah.
Reason, yes, I will sack him. We don't deserve to stay. That's the same mistake Michael made with Ten Hag. He won the FA Cup, tried to give him what better happened. He didn't do well. Now, let's ask yourself, what's the work of the coach? Why didn't he employ coach at the first time? I was surprised that he was sacked and Amorim retained his job. It's the same thing as Amorim. But someone told me that the case is different, and I agree because this one just came in.
Yes, that's the difference.
You ask a valuable question, you can't do 22 and stay in my club. We didn't perform. Where did you going to keep them? At least they didn't, but where did you keep them in a better place? As a coach, you should do more. Are you trying to think that these particular players are worse than Brentford?
Very worse than Brentford.
You see that now you don't have players. They are bad. They are this. Look at them individually. Look at Brighton players. Look at Brentford players. Look at Western players. All these clubs that was above them. I was at the point to play like these guys. Maintain your status. Win games at least. Win out of 3. Win 2. Draw 2. Win 3. Draw 1. Lose 1. They didn't do that. Look at the way they were losing. Embarrassing. They were conceding a lot. Yes, they score, but look at how they concede. He can't do the job. This is not his first season.
I disagree with you, Bishop. Yes, it's not his first season.
Bishop.
I disagree with you, Bishop.
Bishop, in his first season, he finished 5th on the table.
What are we not saying, man?
He went to the Europa League. Wait, he went to Europa League.
What are we
He
not saying,
finished
man?
5th. He finished 5th on the table alongside Chelsea 6th.
That is no problem.
Mm-hmm.
This is not your first season. Why should you finish 7th?
Did he or did he not have an injury crisis in that team? Yes or no?
He's going back. He's going back, not forward. You
Okay.
can't take me back.
Oh, wow.
You expect to move for third or even first.
Even if you.
No, it's not acceptable.
All right, Bishop.
Some clubs are intentional club. You can't do that with Madrid.
Intentional club that has not had any success in the
Alright,
better
alright,
part
Bishop,
of
thank you.
40-something years.
17 years.
But that is unrealistic expectations.
Okay.
If Amorim finish 17 again, you will
He's
lose
out.
your job. I bet you any day. You can't lose 18 games and retain your job. You can't do that.
It's unrealistic expectations, simple and short.
Beat you home and away. What will you now say to the coach of the West Ham? What will you say to him? You not good at managing Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle. You are not coaches.
All right, Bishop.
Look at their days.
Bishop, thank
What
you.
are we saying here?
Thank you,
You
Bishop.
can't do your job.
All right, thank you.
I disagree with you,
All
man.
right, thank you.
Against Ten Hag. That's what we are
I disagree
All
with you,
All
man.
right, thank you. It depends on how you want to see it.
I disagree with you.
Personally, no matter what is, if it's I'm the owner, I will sack
See,
him.
I,
If you want
you
Champions
are
League, I will sack him.
entitled to your opinion, right? But don't come and be having the standards of Real Madrid when you are worse than
Yes.
Eyimba.
The truth is that you don't.
Don't come and no.
You
Don't
don't
come
finish-
and be have the standard of Real Madrid when you are a backwater team that is not better off than Real Madrid. You did not back this manager in the first place.
Okay, let me give you an example.
You not back him in the first place.
John, let me give
you sold his biggest striker after he came in, and you brought a cheap replacement.
Let me give you an example.
I'm just giving you instances.
Clubs in England have sacked coaches for less, even though they have not backed them. They will sack you. Why wouldn't they sack sports school? Because coaches have been sacked for doing less.
Marco that they are about to go and sign now did worse.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Hello, good
And
morning.
they sacked him.
Okay, come back. Okay.
So, what I expected John to be doing was, this argument will keep getting into flaws if we don't stick to the league in context.
Okay.
The reason why this one was sacked is the Premier League. Let's stick to that thing.
Baba.
Not a fun of doing these things. You have a very nonsensical season, and then you come out and win a trophy, and then you just an escape route. That is not excellence. Look at what West Ham did. When West Ham won the Conference League, who can remember where they finished? At least they didn't finish below 15. And then you are losing 22 games in one season. How many games are there in the Premier League?
That's it, though.
And then someone will come, and we are talking of their draws, and they are also wins, maybe few wins. And then someone is telling me they deserve to be there because they won it. There is difference between a cup competition and a league competition. And the owner of Tottenham knows exactly what they are looking for. To me, that man doesn't deserve to be. Even this Amory, all these Omani people are. It's a lie. You cannot
imagine
and expect your coach to be there.
Nah. Let's think about it. This is too much.
You were comparing Tottenham with Arsenal. I was just laughing where I was. And then I had to remember, apart from Liverpool, who has more goal difference than Arsenal?
And that is where I see. That's where I let me answer your question. I said they scored more goals, which means they had more offensive play than defensive play.
Yeah. Okay, continue.
Fine. Let me come. Now, how many games won? It is not that I'm scoring. You might go into a competition and lose 8-7. And then you tell someone I was close to where? How many games did Arsenal lose the whole season? Let's just see the whole season. The whole season, both in all competitions, cannot be compared to what Tottenham have lost. I am now using Arsenal because you started in comparison with Arsenal. That is not the fair comparison. You should compare Tottenham EPS season with the Arsenal defense play
full season.
Thank you.
Arsenal defense play full season. Spurs defense play half 3 games.
I'll end this
and by the way, for the people who are shouting that Manchester United, they lost 14 last season.
Yes.
This season they lost 18 too. They are not better off.
They are going to give Amorim chance because this is first season. But if Amorim lose 22 games next season, they will sack him, irrespective of how they back him or not. Because no matter the injury you face, you don't lose 22 games as in quotes. You know that they are now a top 6 big club. You don't lose 22 games like that.
Baba,
no
I disagree with you on that. You don't lose 22 games, agreed. But not with the makeshift guys they have in that back to deal with the games they had.
Coaches have sacked. That's what I'm explaining to you. Coaches will be sacked for less. For less in other clubs that is small club, they don't even expect you to do anything. It's talking about sports that are actually a top 6 club. Check it now. But let's see what happens.
Who does the top 6?
It's now a top 6 club
16
now. Let's see what happens with it. But finally on our YouTube channel, Paul just is saying Angie got sad because he lost over 20 games. It's not good enough. That is exactly what we are talking about.
20 games without excuse, without just cause.
Choose congratulations to Rafinha for winning the La Liga player of the season. Yes, he won the La Liga player of the season. Finally, Chukwu Ebuka is saying, although Nigerian did not come out with a win last night, but I give credit to them going forward. Okay, thank you for joining us today's show. Monday, we might talk about this sports team if you really think that they deserve that sack, because I was surprised when you were sacked yesterday. But let's see what happens on Monday. We'll talk about the games that happened this weekend, and we'll talk about sports again on Monday. My name is Godwin, and have a wonderful weekend.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage. Take a break and enjoy the show.